You've got questions for the police? They're here to give you the answers on WEFM 99.9.
The world has become such a cruel place. Something is wrong with the human race. Preacher man say it's wonders and signs. We are living in the end of times. Where is the love we once used to know? Where is the kindness we used to show? The heart of man is so full of hate. Let's make a change before it's too late. Too much killing, too much blood spilling. Each and every morning, it's weeping and mourning. We've got to stop all the crimes, erase the violence, let our voice be heard. We can't sit in silence. The hope of tomorrow is in no use today. We've got to live in love. Crime and violence don't pay.
All right, it is 8:12 here in SVG, and at this time we will be having our Cup Chat segment right here on the Clean Fresh Sound. This morning for Cup Chat, we will be conducting an interview with members of the Coast Guard Service. We have in studio with us Mr. Dion Henry, who is the acting commander of the SVG Coast Guard Service, Mr. Lesmond Pope, leading seaman in the SVG Coast Guard Service, Mr. Ralph Liverpool, a retired sub-lieutenant, and Mr. Norris Stewart, retired petty officer, all of the SVG Coast Guard Service. This morning, we are in studio to discuss From Then to Now, dedicated to saving lives and much more. And this is a part of the celebration of the 44th anniversary of the SVG Coast Guard Service. Gentlemen, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you all doing this morning?
Very great. Thanks for having us.
All right. Now, I would like to give you this opportunity to introduce yourselves, and I would start from this end and come this way.
Good morning, all. Good morning to listeners of WEFM, those in St. Vincent and Grenadines and diaspora. I am Dion Henry. I'm the present acting commanding officer of the Coast Guard Service of St. Vincent and Grenadines.
Pleasant good morning to our listeners. I am Lesmond Pope, leading seaman of the St. Vincent and Grenadines Coast Guard Service.
All right, you've been in the Coast Guard for how long?
27 years in full service, 25 years in the Coast Guard Service.
Okay.
Yeah, I've been in the service for this month makes 9 years.
Okay.
Good morning to the nation of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. My name is Norris Stewart. I've been in the Coast Guard from 1991 to 2006. I'm presently retired, a retired petty officer. In my retirement, I am a fire extinguisher service technician. Thank you very much.
Blessed good morning, and a very special good morning to my sweet lovely children. My name is Frankie Ralph Augustus Liverpool. From sub-lieutenant of the Royal St. Vincent and Grenadines Police Force Coast Guard Service.
All right, then. So, as mentioned before this morning, we are discussing the topic From Then to Now, dedicated to saving lives and much more, part of the celebration of the 44th anniversary of the Coast Guard Service. So the first question I actually want to ask you is, what has your experience been like in the Coast Guard Service? So for those of you who are still in the service, and then we'll hear from the retirees. You know what? Since I started this way, I'm going to start this way this time. So you are retired now. What was it like being in the service? How are you enjoying your retirement?
Oh, well, answer the last part. I'm enjoying my retirement very, very good. And always be on the move, doing something that is active, keeping active. Now, it's been a long journey. Well, I was a police officer. I was enlisted in the police force in 1974. Around 1980, I was attached to the Special Services Unit. When the circular came around that, they were going to form Coast Guard in St. John's. So, and they need, applicants. So, well, things wasn't going too well in the unit at the time. And I had a very good friend then. He was a corporal, I was a constable, and he always encouraging me to, he always looking out for my, my safety and my welfare. His name is Old Bailey. He's now in the United States, and I always got to mention his name. Thank you all for what you've done for me. Now, all encouraged me. He told me he was a corporal and about to be promoted to sergeant. So he said to me, he said, "Fool, doesn't matter how they promote me, I would stay here because things is not nice here." He said, "You get out of this place." We had a boss at the time who was more or less a bully, had no respect for us, And the reason why all came up with this, that gentleman was speaking at me, say like commissioner sent us to spy on him and all of that. So eventually I wrote draft an application for me, and I wrote it, I applied. But even before we get back any result, I have some tailoring skills. So I was transferred from that man who was the bully to the tailor shop. So while I was there, another circular came out that, 3 of us from the police were selected to go to Barbados to be trained at the Barbados Defense Force, and then to go out to England for training. So I left sometime in December, I think it was. Well, they have 8 members from outside civilian who were David Robin, Harlan Cambridge, Desmond Tibbles, Clement Patrick, and Desmond Corisari, Ricardo Tibbles, and Patrick, I think it was. 5 of them. So we all went up to Barbados and did our training there. Sometime in December came back. And it was January the 1st, we went up to England. However, I must mention this training was sort of hectic. That's the training in England. I spent 3 months there along with Wilson, and we came back home. Later down the road, when I came back home, I joined the tailor shop, and sometime, I think it was after McIntosh came, I went back to the Coast Guard, where I was sent out to do a navigation course in Canada. So, there is where, but those days, the Coast Guard having the personnel from the English Navy, who was, was in charge of us at the time. I think they were very, let's say, helpful, and they did a lot, pertaining to training and all of this, And I eventually spent, I think, 22 years in the Coast Guard. I retired, I took all the retirement and because as an electrician as well. And I think things after securing pension and gratuity, I think it was time for me to move on. So that's why I did. I set up my own little business, and up to now, I continue doing my my electrical.
Okay, so we're going to look from then till now, right? So then when you started, how many vessels did you were there, and how many personnel were also there?
Well, we had 3 vessels.
3?
Yeah.
Okay.
The Macintosh, we have the Brighton, which I was put in command as soon as we received them, and we have the Larry Prince Lemay was put in charge of Larry. So I was commander of a vessel at a very early stage. Yeah.
Okay. Mr. Stewart, right? Your time in terms of your time there at the Coast Guard.
My time was very good. Excuse me. The experience, it had its ups and downs. As no one can say, there's anything easy in life. Okay, I joined the force in 1979, but after spending 10 years, I was eventually transferred to the Coast Guard, where I spent 16 years. So I did 26 years in all. In the Coast Guard, it was very interesting, and I got a lot of experience where I was able to develop a skill as a navigator. And as a navigator, if you're on a boat, whether the sea is rough or it's calm, you have to take fix, and do the coast and those other things. It's very difficult, but I got over it with the help from ex-Commander Cain, Leading Seaman Sullivan, who is deceased, and I stick with those guys, and I was able to make it through. I went to various islands in the Caribbean and also to countries, states, United States and Panama, where I did training. And those are good days. The bad days is when you have to go to sea and the sea is rough. It's a challenge, a very big challenge. One other thing I was able to manage, I was a very good cook. And whether the sea was rough or it's calm, I used to make it through cooking for the guys. So the guys will be happy to carry me to sea. But as I say, that is up and down. Sometimes one of the disadvantages that being in the Coast Guard, you're away from your family for sometimes a very, very long time. And that is one of the things that I never used to enjoy, but it's part of the job. There's a job there to do, you have to do it. So when I had family time, I make sure I make use of that family time. When I went there, I think the commander was Jagger, who was an English personnel, who was in charge, and I was received good. I was in good spirit because it was a new experience, and I wanted to experience what the Coast Guard is like. Before that, how I became interested in the Coast Guard, I used to work as a police in Canoan, and in those days you didn't have, boats that they have now to travel up and down. Something you had to sail, or you use the roll on, roll off. I don't know if anyone of you know the roll on, roll off boat that they used to.
I don't.
Anyway, so that experience is what encouraged me, to want to join the Coast Guard because the opportunity was there. So I took that opportunity. But it didn't materialize until 1991. I started applying about 1985, 86, and never got through till 1991. So my experience was good. There are much more things I could talk about, but I take time to, but I want to give the other guys opportunity to do this because time is limited. Thank you.
All right, Pope.
President, good morning again. My experience with the Coast Guard, well, let me first start with me joining the Coast Guard. So prior to joining the Coast Guard, I would have had some background or training in electrical. I worked as an electrician's apprentice. I would have also received training, some vocational training at the Technical Institute. And when the Coast Guard did their recruitment drive in 2015, I would have been enticed that they were looking for skilled personnel that have some form of skill. And with my background, I decided to apply. Fortunately, I got through. It has been a very good experience for me since. I've been mentored in my field by a lot of good individuals, people who are specialized within this field. It has been a very good experience in it. The Coast Guard has disciplined me. As we know, it's a disciplinary organization. As Mr. Stewart would have said, your typical days, you have good days until you have to go to sea and the water is bad.
Imagine Coast Guard officers saying this, but anyways.
Yeah, but the thing is, it's our job to brave it, and I think all of us do that well. And yeah, the Coast Guard has humbled me. It's disciplined me. It's where I've learned most of my life skills and most of my training. Yeah.
Okay. Big Commander.
Yes. Good morning again to all the listeners. Thus far, in terms of experience in the Coast Guard service for the past 25 years, it's been truly a blessing to me. You have the challenges. There are times when you have to sacrifice most of your family life and your personal life. I've been commanding Coast Guard for the last 18 years or so in command leadership position and sacrificed a lot in terms of my time with my family and my friends. But in terms of overall experience, I've been to places where I never dreamed of going if I was not in the Coast Guard. I mean, the training received in the Coast Guard is free. And that's something to stick with for the rest of your life. I'll tell you guys the Coast Guard service. Once you're here, everything you receive here will stay with you. Just apply what you have learned during your various training courses, because we're going to ask you to not to leave anything when you're leaving. But the course is a place where you can make you into an individual that is outstanding, because no one is left behind in the Coast Guard service. We try to work as a team, we are a team, and we try to live as a family. So we encourage everyone to stick towards the goal of the Coast Guard, that is dedicated to saving life at sea. I'm not sure exactly why Stuart and Hope have issue with going to sea. Remember my days of going to sea. I love the sea.
Excitement.
I can recall on evenings and weekends, I used to ask to use the dinghy for Captain Malzak just to go and look at the patrol, because that's why my passion was. I was supposed to out and love to go to sea, and I believe in hard work. I think the Coast Guard was the right place for me. I told you earlier, when I joined the service some 27 years ago, I went training school, I passed that best recruit. I worked SSU, then I went to special branch. Eventually, I went to Coast Guard. That's where I find my footing, as I went there to serve, and I have a passion to serve the country and serving people. So the Coast Guard is a blessing to me, and I would not rather have a different career than being a Coast Guard officer.
Okay. And you came through the ranks.
I came through the ranks.
All right.
Came through the ranks of very all the age of my career, 9 years of promoted officer in the Coast Guard. So I've been there in command for the last 18 years. So I work with these gentlemen here. When I got to the Coast Guard, I remember I want to be an engineer, and Mr. Liverpool say, Henry, you're my countryman. You're going to Persian department. And that's how I end up.
Okay.
So I was in charge of the
Yeah, he just
Oh, okay.
forced my department just like that. So I guess he had this vision.
Yes, sir.
So, but I'm grateful for Mr. Liverpool and Mr. Stewart service and contribution toward the Coast Guard, because we consider them as our founding fathers.
Right.
Because they're the one who built the foundation for the Coast Guard we are actually enjoying now. All the hard work went in building the Coast Guard was from these guys. You talk about Mr. Rabin, Commander James, Commander Cain, Francois, other guys that when I went there in 1999, those are the one actually molded us into who we are today.
Okay. And you brought Pope because he's been molded as well.
Pope has been molded as well for
Yes.
taking the future command of the Coast Guard.
Okay. All right. So then I know. No, Mr. Mr. Commando. How many vessels do you currently have, and what's the number in terms of personnel? You didn't answer my question with personnel though, in terms of how many started with.
Oh, sir.
Okay, I can answer that.
Okay.
When the Coast Guard started, as Mr. Liverpool correctly said, so about 8 personnel.
Okay.
Eight
okay.
personnel.
Mm.
Present today in the Coast Guard, the establishment have 131 personnel. I mean, we have grown from 8 to 131 within the past 44 years. That's significant growth. Some of vessels, I remember Larry Kai, I remember Brighton, remember the Captain Mozart. But those vessels are no longer there because they actually use a useful life, so they have been decommissioned. But now we have 9 vessels on our fleet. We have the Captain Mozart. That's our flagship. That's the largest vessel within the fleet. We have the Hyrule, we have the Baliso, and we have small boats. We call interceptors. So basically, we are changing from vessels that were more cost in operation to vessels less cost to operate. In that these vessels now are more fuel efficient and they produce less emission to the environment impact. So the vessels change with the technology and change with the times.
Okay. Then I know again. How many women started off in the Coast Guard service, and how many women do we have now?
There was no lady in the Coast Guard initially. Presently, we have approximately 25 females within the Coast Guard service establishment, because we have some civilian staff, we have like security guards at the gate, and the actual posts in the Coast Guard there, serving as ladies.
Okay. And those serving within the Coast Guard itself, what's the numbers you have? You know off the top of your
Approximately
head?
16.
16? Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Women taking over just now.
Just to mention as well, too, this big activity we have in now is actually led by the female Coast Guard group.
Okay.
So you must have to ladies in some of the leadership. I mean, they are female in a male-dominated industrial sector, but they actually taking the task compared to the males. They actually sometimes overshine, actually outperform the males, which is evident. You know, we are seeing female Coast Guard. They are very, very much productive and actually contribute immensely to the Coast Guard development.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I remember a previous interview with some of the graduates of the recently concluded, and that was mentioned, you know, the ladies doing very well in the program as well. So we're continuing on it then to now. We mentioned the vessels, we mentioned the amount of persons. What are some of the other differences in the Coast Guard from the time it started to 2024? Question is open to anyone.
Well, you made an observation pertaining the summer programs. I think you did, right?
Yes.
Yes, and I must say, that was the brainchild of Mr. Tyrone Jones, and I want to commend him highly for that. Because the amount of students application received over the years, from students to come to that program, and they are doing wonderfully well. These students are doing wonderfully. A lot of them usually go back to the Coast Guard to join the service. I must say, I took one of my sons in, and he came first in the program many months ago. Yeah. He's now an accountant working out in the Bahamas. Good morning, sir.
Anything you wanted to add to that?
Yes, I must say the Coast Guard summer program is actually 30 years old. And I think I want to share with the listening audience. Because I was 14 years old when the program began. So at 14 years, I was a teenager. We gave birth to a program. And now 30 years in actually having a program every year. And I also want to indicate that The Coast Guard is now under local leadership for the last 30 years. As Stuart said, when he joined the Coast Guard, members of the Royal Navy were in charge of the Coast Guard, second officer of the Royal Navy. So Mr. Commander David Rabin took command of the Coast Guard in 1994. And then was Commander James, and then Commander Cain, and now I'm the actual acting CEO of the Coast Guard. So at 30 years, we actually charted our course for the last 30 years. And it's not an easy thing to give a child, a teenager, a teacher to run at 14 years of experience. So I want to praise my founding fathers, the commanders and past force. They are 13 years old. They actually hold the institution and build it to a level where it stands out among all the other institutions in the region like it. I mean, I travel a lot throughout the region and throughout this world, through the Coast Guard, do the Coast Guard functions and tasks. And everybody I meet give praises to our Coast Guard. And we are just different than the West Coast Guard within OECS.
So explain what makes our Coast Guard different.
I think the main thing is that we own our own budget. In that we go to a budget meeting and argue for what we want in terms of financings. In other countries like Grenada, St. Lucia, Dominica, they're under the police force. So basically, their expenses are operating expenses is shared among other agencies or departments within the police force. But within our Coast Guard service, we actually spend our own monies that are allotted for us for our own expenditures or procurement. So we have more control of our service than others. And then again, we have one establishment of the commander, all the ranks. Person in the Coast Guard are not transferred to departments outside of the Coast Guard. Once you join the Coast Guard, you're there until you decide you want to retire or you ask for a transfer. Other forces, you are transferred back and forth between police and defense force.
Okay.
And so we are more stable than, in that sense, than other Coast Guard within the region.
Okay.
And to add what Commander Henry said, I think it's the devotion of our men. And I think we must be commended highly for that. Our Coast Guard personnel, call them up, there you go. They are ready. They are ready, and the body attitude we had and still have among us. I think it goes a long way.
Okay, so let's speak to leadership and development, because we have the retired persons who are here with us, but in terms of them lending their support, their expertise, their knowledge, how often does that happen? Persons like Lesron, who came in 9 years ago, 9, right? Yes. 9 years ago. Is he still being informed of or being quote unquote trained or mentored or advised by the older persons? How is that happening?
Yeah, so President, there's what we call the Former Coast Guard Members Association, which Mr. Liverpool and Mr. Stewart are members of. Should actually president of the association. So they actually are there to assist the Coast Guard in all form of development, whether it's training, assistance in any technical aspect of the work. They are there to provide that kind of guidance. And from time to time, we meet with the guys and have informal discussion as to how we should approach our certain events, activities within the Coast Guard, our challenges. So there's a contribution between those persons of the past, of the present, and the future.
Okay.
I must say, on a weekly basis, what we have what we call the Coast Guard training day, where on a Wednesday morning, we try to have as much as possible within the department of the Coast Guard. So those who have some expertise, when they are spending one training course overseas, who are qualified, they can impart the knowledge of gain to other junior posts or senior posts. So we try to share knowledge as much as possible as often as we can within the Coast Guard service.
All right, and Lesron, from your standpoint, not because you're commander here, but what is the camaraderie like amongst personnel at the Coast Guard?
Yeah, we have great camaraderie. One of the key things working in an establishment like this is you must have some form of teamwork. You must be able to work with people. It's a way to move forward and learn from each other. And as you could see, the Coast Guard is still very young. And the way for us to learn and improve is by sharing information. So the camaraderie is there, yeah.
Okay.
If I could just chime in to what Pope said. So every Monday morning, we have a call a general brief. When they come on the Coast Guard, meet with the staff members, where we sit down and discuss things affecting the Coast Guard, plans for the upcoming week or for the next 2 months or 3 months or so. So every Monday morning, they come and meet with the junior staff of the Coast Guard on a weekly basis. Also, we have every Monday morning, we start our week of devotion where we give reverence to the Almighty for His guidance, protection. So I think that in itself have actually helped to build the camaraderie among the guys and female within the Coast Guard service.
Persons are able to just share their opinions without
Yes,
fear
yes.
of anything
We
happening,
ask,
right?
we ask people to be open and just be respectful when sharing
correct.
your opinions. So.
Okay. All right, Stuart, you wanted to come in?
Yes, I am. Sorry. I'd like to come in here in relation to the former Coast Guard and the present Coast Guard. The former Coast Guard Association was formed last June. And where we want
2023 is the last June.
Sorry, 2023. Yes, where we want to help. We want to help the younger guys in the Coast Guard. Presently, we are working towards it. We are not quite there yet, but we are hoping that that will be the case. It was fun because when we look at what we do, we go to sea, we live with each other, we go in the rough seas and what's not. Okay, you could say, we on our workplace, we were there more than our homes. And when we leave the Coast Guard, we are left alone. Nobody to cherish us. If we are sick, if we are lonely, there is nobody. So myself and Jerome Dick, who was a leading seaman, came to the conclusion, no, we can't leave our brothers and sisters. So it could be us, we never know when we would need each other help. So we came together and we spoke to some of the ex-Coast Guard members and we said, no, we have to do something. Also, the reason for that too is that we had a couple of the ex-Coast Guard personnel who would have left us with pass. And we considered if we could have only did something to help them, they probably would have lived on longer, they probably would die, more happier. And there's some who are sick. So we say, okay, what we would do, we would get this group together and we would start doing something for them, like visiting those who are sick, if we can contribute something to them, and those who pass, if we could visit them before they eventually pass. Fortunately for us, there was one guy called Cain. I think he was a leading seaman when he left the Coast Guard. He passed sometime this year. And unfortunately, he and his son passed probably same month. But we were able to visit him. When we visited him, he had a stroke. When we visit him, we met him he was in a wheelchair. He was all jolly and good. And he was very, very happy to see us. And we ourselves were happy, to go and visit him and see what his condition was like and to contribute something to him. I think the family appreciated that very much. And he appreciated it too. Those are the things we want to do. We would also, as I say, help the younger guys in the Coast Guard, because what we learn, we don't want to keep it, you must pass it on. Because if you don't pass it on, change is as strong as its weakest link, So we would like to do that.
Okay. All right. So I would like us to take an ad break here, and then we will be back with more of the interview, and we'll give listeners a chance to call with their questions and their comments. All right. So we are taking a break. We will be back.
That's the sound of your animals. Strong, healthy, and delivering yields you love. That didn't just happen. It began with you feeding them only the best. East Caribbean Feeds. Rest assured, we only produce your feeds with premium ingredients. No hormones, no animal byproducts. Just everything your animal needs from maximum nutrition. Because your animals deserve only the best. East Caribbean Feeds from Maximum Nutrition.
ECGC has slashed feed prices by 8 to 10%. Check your local supplier for more details. ECGC, providers of feed for maximum nutrition.
Ready, set, serve. Singer, your favorite family store is now online. Log on today at www.singersvg.com and enjoy our store and products right at your fingertips. Now online are your trusted brands that you have come to love. Refrigerators to chest freezers, gas cookers to toasters, air fryers, mattresses, living room sets, and so much more. Browse our products, check the specs, compare brands and prices, and request parts all online. We have also made bill payments easier, more convenient, and simpler just for you. Log on to www.singersvg.com to learn more. Singer, your family company is keeping up with you and the times. Visit our website today and experience a whole new world of Singer, your trusted online family company.
St. Vincent and the Grenadines. It's a whole new world out there. Reaching new customers and getting products faster. That's what it's all about. Ocean freight rates are skyrocketing, so don't pay more for slower service. It's time to switch to faster, more reliable air cargo service with SkyMax Cargo. Up to 3 flights weekly to and from the USA, Puerto Rico, and the Caribbean islands. Providing excellent import, export, and e-commerce solutions to put you ahead of the competition. For special low rates on small packages and air cargo, contact SkyMax today. 784-456-5400. Local agents SwiftPack Interprime Cargo. Call 784-456-5400 to book your shipments today.
At Lynch Caribbean, yes, we offer comprehensive insurance solutions and broking. But we are more than an insurance broker. We drill down to your core business strategy. We keep a pulse on risk to keep your operations healthy.
On your mark. Get set.
Along the way, helping you to drive competitive advantages. At Lynch Caribbean, we have your back. Contact us today for insurance solutions, strategic risk advisory, and more. Call 453-3300. Email info@lynchcaribbean.com or visit our office in Beachmont, Kingstown. Follow Lynch Caribbean SVG on Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn, or visit www.lynchcaribbean.com.
Merry Christmas, shoppers! Mr. Claus here. It's the season of giving, and CK Graves and Company Limited has gifts for you. Starting on December the 2nd, 30 lucky shoppers will have a chance to win a $100 food voucher every week. But wait, that can't be all. On December the 31st, we will be having a grand prize draw with amazing prizes like a 50-inch smart television, an air fryer, and a kettle, along with food vouchers worth up to $1,000. CK Graves has got more of what you're looking for this season. So come and join the festive fun. See you soon.
Nothing else sounds as good as
WEFM, the clean, fresh sound.
Cop Chat. You've got questions for the police? They're here to give you the answers on WEFM 99.9.
Something is wrong with the human race. Preacher man say it's wonders and signs. We are living in the end of times. Where is the love we once used to know? Where is the kindness we used to show? The heart of man is so full of hate. Let's make a change before it's too late. Too much killing, too much blood spilling. Each and every morning, it's weeping and mourning. We've got to stop all the crimes, erase the violence, let our voice be heard. We can't sit in silence. The hope of tomorrow is in no use today. We've got to live in love. Crime and violence don't pay.
And we are back with our interview in our Cup Chat segment here on WEFM. This morning we have 4 officers, 2 retired and 2 present officers of the SVG Coast Guard Service. And we are talking on the topic from then to now dedicated to saving lives. If you have any questions or comments and you wish to be a part of the discussion, you can call us on 457-9997. All right.
All right. So, yes, the phone lines are open for you to call, but in the interim, because we just have a few minutes left. Okay, so our call is coming. All right. Hi, caller. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning again. You know, it's a good thing Dave Roberts has been around for a long time in this country. And I wish I knew every nook and cranny. But congratulations to the SVG Coast Guard. I don't know, I hear you have some retirees there. And I was close to some of them. There was this guy from Baga, Barley, tall, powerful guy, a good friend of mine. What's his name?
Brenton Cain.
Is he there?
No, he's not here.
Brenton Cain.
But he's listening, though.
Oh, man. Brenton, good morning. And I really feel a sense of joy and satisfaction going back from the days of David Robin, who headed the Coast Guard in the early stages and who went to England, and I know did so well in his academic work there. And I think he was an envy of the other folks, like the white folks. They couldn't believe that he could perform so well. Congratulations to you, David Robin. I am young enough, I'm old enough to know other things in this country. And that's nobody can stop me from speaking the truth, and the truth shall set you free. And any developing country needs a Coast Guard for protection, safety, and in terms of borders and all of that. We hear what is going on in America, where Trump campaigns so strongly on border protection and all of that. But what impressed me, and I come over with this kind of exuberance, because I know of a young lady who was very close to me, who had tremendous success, all because of the Coast Guard, right? And I speak about no other lesser person than Dr. Jacqueline James. That's a young lady I love and cherish up to this day, even though she married. She set the, and you see, I have to come over with this kind of passion because we live in a time now where I am so disappointed with some of our young women, right? And some of them only believe that the world started in a distant time, let me put it that way. But we have had Vincentians who have set the foundation, who have set the pace, and are great examples to follow, right? And I say that because when she excelled, I think, in every department, every aspect. She was a good athlete and all of that, apart from her academics. And I remember when she was awarded a special scholarship of $250,000 from the U.S. Army, Navy, or whatever. I can't remember all the details now. But that is someone I took an interest in. I big her up. I wrote about her in the papers and so on too. So I know what we have where the Coast Guard is concerned, and Dr. Jacqueline James is someone that women in this country can emulate. He's a professor something. Well, she's so busy now. Good morning to you, Jacqueline, wherever you are. I still love you very much. Thank you, guys, and I wish Coast Guard all the success and that discipline and all of that will be maintained. Thank you.
Thank you, Brother Robbie.
All right, so to wrap up our conversation this morning, right? I'm going to ask each of you, well, for each of you to answer, what are some of the future goals that you wish to see for the Coast Guard service? Celebrating 44 years at this time, it has to be 44 plus more years, right? So we're going to go from this end, go down. What are some of the future goals that you would like to see for the Coast Guard? All right, so Mr. Liverpool, you first. Mhm.
Well, I think, the Coast Guard service should be, we should have a bigger fleet, along with more personnel. Because really and truly, when I look at, in certain areas, I see where a number of young people could be employed, So I think, one of the major aspects of it, we should have more vessels, let's focus on more vessels. And, because we are getting, old and everything like that, and more, like technology improving all the time. So I think more vessels, bigger fleets, more personnel.
Okay. Mr. Stewart?
Yes, I'm hoping that the Coast Guard could have more local training, meaning that they could get the service of the past members, to invite them more often when they are available, and so they can train the young ones, tell the young ones of their experience and show them, what they can do. Because they're young people and they're growing up and they need the experience. So our experience, as I said, passing to them would be a good thing. And I would also like to see if we could get more stations in the Grenadines so we can do more patrols, which would be a better thing for the Coast Guard. So if we can get more stations, as Liverpool said, we get more boats, more personnel, then we'll do a better job.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, Ms. Pope?
Right. While I see the Coast Guard expanding with more vessels, yes, I would like to see more personnel with skill training joining or coming to the Coast Guard. I think that will improve our overall efficiency, as well as training. Yeah.
Okay. And Mr. Henry?
I endorse all what the other panelists have said, my colleague and the former Coast officers. Within the next 1 to 3 months, we're going to see a change in the Coast Guard uniform that we're currently wearing to something more comfortable. You guys will see it and you guys will love it. So we have a new uniform.
But you're keeping the white for these special occasions, right?
We're keeping all the uniforms.
Okay.
We're going to add a new uniform to the Coast Guard uniform list.
Okay, I like the white. Just saying.
So within the next 1 to 3 months, we'll have a new uniform for the Coast Guard officers. Also, we're looking at our fleet expansion. Presently, we are actually in the procurement process of a new vessel for the Coast Guard, Interceptor, about 40 feet in length, to be more comfortable, much faster than the one we have now. So we're expanding the fleet, Mr. Liverpool and Mr. Stewart, that's on our books. Also, we're looking at the Coast Guard headquarters rehabilitation. Some work will be done on the Coast headquarters within the next year or so. And also in the future, long term, a new headquarters, because definitely we have grown the capacity of the Coast Guard base at Colaca. I'm not sure if you guys know, we have 3 Coast Guard bases, one at Colaca, one on Beckway, and one on Kenawan. So we have a presence in the Grenadines, a very good presence as well. So Grenada is basically covered by the Coast Guard. Also, we have what we call the Myro Patrol. We have vessel station at Myro to patrol around Myro and Tobago Keys. Training, we are strong on training. So we are actually sourcing training for our guys, specialized training. We're talking about leadership and development. So we look at electronics, mechanical, electrical, air condition, and also with our leadership out of it, very important. We send our forces to an academy to develop our leaders. Mr. Pope returned from Trinidad in September after completing the officer course. He basically is a qualified officer within the Trinidad Defense Force and Coast Guard. Within the next year or so, because we have some strategic direction, so we're actually working on a strategic plan for the Coast Guard. We got the Coast Guard within the next 3 to 5 years of its existence and into the future. So things are working. We are working on other stuff presently, and we really will want to move Coast Guard forward the direction that's how the founding fathers has shaped it to be. I'm not sure if you guys know we have a Coast Guard song that was written by a former Coast Guard officer. Chikobi, he's a Calypsonian songwriter. And that song we sing every morning, just to make the post to come in the Coast Guard, we have history, our strong culture, our strong heritage. And also we have what do you call the motto for this week activity celebration. Say 41, 45. We are 44 years. 45 we are strong, we are resilient. Okay? And we are committed to excellence and development. I mean, we commit ourselves to excellent service. Commit ourselves to development of our human resources is very, very important. So with that said, that's my vision for the Coast Guard next short to long term.
So let me tell you what, right? Because I know we're going to be having a discussion next year for the 45th year. So lots of those things that you call out there, I want to see a check, go down the list, right? All right, go ahead, Mr. Liverpool.
Before we go, please permit me to say special good morning to our past members who are not feeling well at this time. Mr. Gordon out in Connery and Mr. Shelford Adams down in Barley. And let me say a special good morning to Mr. Paul as well. Thank you very much.
All right.
All right. And with that, we have concluded our interview here with the SVG Coast Guard. We were talking on the topic from then to now dedicated to saving lives, all part of the week of activities in celebration of the 44th anniversary of the Coast Guard. This morning we had Ralph Liverpool and Norris Stewart, who are retired members of the Coast Guard, and Lesmond Pope and Dianna Henry with us here. We've come to the end of our interview. Very informative topic. A lot of interesting things were said, and we wish the Coast Guard all the best in the future for the future.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.